chosen to look at a different video to analyse from the one we looked at on Monday. Details are on the screen. It's faster pace and a higher incline. So I'm going to break it down. We had three areas to focus on. That was looking at where we were placing our foot, and we also had a goal of eliminating the overstride, and we also had a goal of improving the leg cycle and of working on the arms. So let's look at where we were before. We'll start with the right foot as it comes in here before on the left of the screen. So before we had a really high toe incline, and so you were using a real small part of the trainer. So that was, as a recap, causing the shin muscles to really work hard, the anterior tibialis to really work hard to control that foot as it was coming down. So over time, that would contribute to shin splints, knee pain, because the foot will slap down. What that led to as well, because we were striving for a faster speed, we were then taking a longer stride, which is causing us to overstride. That increases the braking forces going through our joints. So we've got that here on that line that's going across. It's going to affect the knee, hip, ankle as well, and also impinge on the lower back, because what happens is we compensate by falling forwards. As we can see from this line, shoulders ahead, we're hunching a little bit in the shoulders, head is slightly angled as well. So that's what we have with an overstride, and because of those braking forces, it's going to be hard to pick up speed as we go. And we can also add in the angle. I'll just also add in on here the angle of the shin. So that was our incline. So as that foot is making contact, the angle of the shin is going to be greater than what we would be hoping or striving for. So if we just bring that into that point. So it was originally, it was about at 101 degrees at that angle. So if we look at where we were after, and we'll just take it through against that right foot. So with the right foot now, as that's coming into land there, into Footstrike, we can see that we've now taken out that high toe, and you're landing midfoot, so heel and toe simultaneously. What that is affected is that now you're placing nicely underneath your hip, so you've released the pressure from the shin, anterior tibialis. That's not working hard now. So there's less force going through there. You're now placing underneath your hip. This is really significantly efficient for the following reasons. You're not overstriding now, so that's eliminated. So goal achieved, and it's going to be easier to maintain speed. It's going to be easier to pick up speed. There's going to be less braking forces going through your body. And remember, 70% of those injuries are from the knee down. And you're also not going to be spending a lot of time in contact with the ground now. You're going to have an increase in flight time, so it's going to be significantly reducing the impact on your body. When we're running inefficiently, we're putting 5 to 8 times our body weight through us. Efficiently, we're putting 2 to 3 times. So that's a really significant improvement on there. And if we check out the angle of the shin as well, we can see we're very, very close to let's put that graph in, protractor there. So we're 88 degrees, so we're perpendicular to the ground, which is what we're striving for. So that's a real superb improvement on that left side, on that right side, sorry. Now we'll switch back and we'll have a look at the left foot as it comes into land. Before, let's take out quite a few of these lines. So if we take that left foot through now, we can see there again we were reaching far out, and we were causing that overstride. Again, we were using a small part of the portion of the foot trainer to land, which was causing a high toe, not as high as the right. And then we're still having to work hard to control that point down. There, which led to that overstride, which I'll put in a moment. I'll just show that running posture, how that's affected. And the body falls forward from the hip to compensate for balance, which ultimately switches off your glutes and your hamstrings and overrides it. The quads and hip flexors override that to propel yourself forward. So that's what we had on that left foot before. If we have a look at where we are now, just show you the angle actually as well whilst we're here. So we've seen the toe position there, the angle of your shin, was 96 on there. So if we switch to after, and also just remember before, as we lean forwards, we're starting to put extra pressure on our lower back extensors as well. Okay, so we could see that foot coming in there to land. We got next to no gap between the legs, which is fantastic as those knees are crossing. In terms of our body position, posture is fantastic. Okay, so we got ear, shoulder, hip nicely in. We got our body nicely in line, shoulder, hip, ear in that position. And then if we got that angle of that shin as it's coming in, we are going to be, you can see from that picture there, it's going to be close to 90 degrees. Okay, so we're 88 degrees, so close to perpendicular again. So that's a really good position to be in. Again, we're landing underneath that hip, which means we're going to be ensuring that we're going to be easier to maintain speed, and we got an increase in flight time at that hill incline. So that's really, really fantastic improvement. Now, if we look at leg cycle, so before, we just switch over to before. I'm just going to show the difference in the heel lift where we were at this 5% incline, and we just this really shows the picture quite nicely. And after, may need to play around a little bit with these. Just put them in for now. Okay, so if we play the leg cycle through, we can see the difference that we get before and after. Before, need to adjust that one slightly. Before, we were lower to the ground as we were toeing off. It was skimming slightly lower on that ground there. And we were toeing off further away from our body position. Now, if we look at that on the right hand side, we're following the curve of that circle really nicely. So following the outside, and now we're getting it right up to our glutes and our hamstrings, which means we're going to be activating the power muscles to drive the momentum forward, rather than when the foot's leaving the ground, and it was closer knee crease before, but when it left the ground, it was in contact with the ground sooner than we would like it to be. And we can evidence that as well by just looking at flight time. So if we just take both of these out, see, there's your flight time before, and if we look at after, there we're higher into the air, and then we're coming down. So we've got an increase in flight time. If we look at the heel lift before on that leg cycle, as it got to mid-swing phase. So when we get to mid-swing phase, which is when that foot's coming down, we were at 5%, just up. We're up to that knee crease with that left one. If we look at after, as that foot comes in, we're now up to hamstring there. So if we look at the left foot in terms of heel lift, when we get into mid-swing, okay, so mid-swing there on that left one, we were just lower than knee crease into that position, so slightly lower. If we look at left now afterwards, it's where we want to be. We're exactly identical to the right, so we've managed to balance the body parts nicely in terms of that point. And also we've got heel to the sky, toe to the ground. So the final thing to go through is the arms. So the arms give us rhythm, balance and control. So if we play this through, we'll just highlight the arms. So just see before, the arms stayed pretty much coming across to the abs, really, that area, not getting higher than chest. Now that's a perfect position to actually pause it. We've got a fantastic demonstration of the arms. They're going to give you rhythm, balance and control. So we've got the elbow driving back, we've got the hand at hip level, and then on the left side we've got that hand coming up to shoulder level with a fantastic angle of the arm. So the angle of the arm is at 60 degrees, closer angle, and we can now see that we've got the watch facing towards us, whereas before the watch is facing away, the hand is into that position. You had a good angle of the arms before, they were very much at 90, but now that adapted angle, it's going to be easier to maintain longer distance without fatigue. And as we switch those arms, this is exactly what we want. Both sides being equal, hand up to shoulder level. Again, that elbow driving back, that watch face pointing towards us. Whereas before, the watch face is just coming down to that position where we've sort of turned our hand, so the palm is facing away, which is going to switch off biceps, which we're going to use with that shoulder to actually generate that power. So it's really good improvement in terms of the arm drive. The arms, the consequence of it working on those arms has also enabled that posture to be more upright, head in a better position. We can see before, head is angled, so eyes are coming down here. Whether now, if we look at after, that head is in a better position, and we're facing very much forward there. So phenomenal improvement, Andy. Great to work with you over the course of the 6 sessions. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're continue to feel the benefit of the fantastic work you've put in.